It's a pleasure, Miz. It's an honor to talk to you. You've had a very long and distinguished career in WWE as a two-time champion. Now you're working with Lotrimin's new Go With Confidence campaign. Tell me about that, how that came about, and your plans with Lotrimin.
Well, Lotrimin teamed up with Souls for Souls, which is a charitable organization that finds sustainable jobs as well as donates shoes and clothes to people that need it. And when Lotrimin came to me and said, "Look, we want to do this Go with Confidence campaign," I mean, who has more confidence than the Miz? I mean, come on. When I walk out into a WWE ring, I stand up straight. I feel like I'm pretty confident, and I want to make sure that other people can walk with confidence. I look at, myself, and I take care of myself. I take care of my feet because I realize that my feet are a very important part of my success in WWE and keeping them healthy. And so whenever I can have a charitable cause as well as a hashtag that says "Go with Confidence," I mean, you can definitely sign me up. If I can motivate people to walk with confidence and be confident with themselves, then I am all for it. And not only that, by the way, so with Souls for Souls, I'm going to donate a pair of my shoes and I'm going to autograph them. And we are going to do through eBay for Charities a charity auction. And we're going to auction off those shoes as well as other celebrities are going to sign shoes. And we're going to auction those off. And all the proceeds will go to Souls for Souls, as well as Bayers is going to donate $1 for every product of Lotrimin's daily prevention that is sold. So every product that is sold, they're going to donate $1 up to $50,000. So it's a pretty incredible cause. It's a great message, and I am all for that.
Well, that's incredible. And you mentioned the shoes that you're going to donate. Can I get some insight as to what type of shoes? Are these Jordans?
Sure,
Are
they're
these wrestling
Nikes.
shoes?
They're Nike Airs and they're Air Maxes, and they're pretty new. Like, if you want a story behind them, I got them from the Cleveland Browns. So I was at their place in Berea, and I was walking around. They're like, "Hey, you want a pair of shoes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a pair of shoes from the Cleveland Browns." And they gave them to me, and I've worn them not very often, to be honest, though. So they're pretty new. And I signed them, and hopefully they'll go for a lot of money so we could raise some monies for Soul for Souls.
Wow, that's really cool. Real quick, how excited are you about the Browns this year? After last year they had finally a successful winning season, beating the Steelers in the playoffs, and now they seem to be a kind of a quiet Super Bowl favorite this year.
A quiet. I have been very vocal about the fact that they are winning the Super Bowl this year, and I'm super excited about this. I mean, I think we've addressed everything before the draft even happened during free agency. And now I look at this team, and not only do we have viable starters, but our backups are even incredible. The entire team is filled with superstars. And I think they have a winning mentality. They have a coach that knows how to win. I think the players are behind him and believe in him. And I believe in them. And I looked at their schedule. It just came out a couple days ago. And I looked at it and said, all right, 10 easy wins, no doubt in my mind. There's 14 of them that are going to be, that are probably going to be wins, but could lose. You never know what happens. And then there's two that I'm like, oh boy, that's going to be a game to watch. And honestly, one of the games to watch is week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's a game that I think people are going to want to watch because we almost beat them in the playoffs. And to have even a better team than we did last year, I think the sky's the limit for this team this year.
Well, I'm a Packers fan, so if Aaron Rodgers decides
Good
to
luck.
stay, hopefully we'll see you there. But it's anybody's guess there. The Miz and Mrs. show did very well this week. Top 5 on cable. It was the highest viewership you had all season. You guys are 3 seasons in, still killing it there. And I want to ask you, just looking at your success with this show, your success you've had with hosting, with movies. I'm not retiring you yet. You have plenty left in the tank, obviously. You just won a WWE title this year, for God's sakes. But you seem to be very set up nicely for life after wrestling. Do you have any concrete plans or projects that you're planning on rolling out after it's all done with wrestling?
I love being a WWE superstar. I enjoy the live audience, the reaction from them. Now, granted, we haven't had a live audience in a very long time, but hopefully, sooner rather than later, we will have a live audience. We had, people at WrestleMania, and it was incredible to feel that electricity in the arena again. And, I'm always looking for new projects, new experiences. Like, I'm always a person that I look at something and I go, is this a great experience? Will this teach me something about myself as well, maybe about my family, about who I am? Will it teach me a new talent? I always look for different things that will motivate me and will challenge me. I'm always looking for that next challenge. With Ms. and Mrs. Success, I'm glad that you actually saw that too. Like top 5 in cable this week. Our ratings are through the roof. I think USA is absolutely happy with our show and everything that we've been doing. It's a great show. It's honestly, it's the only thing that I get on the internet that is always positive 100%. With WWE, you always get a lot of negativity because I play, well, a bad guy, very egotistical and arrogant. But with Ms. and Mrs., people seem to really gravitate towards that. And our fan base is only getting bigger. As you can see, like our ratings just keep going up. And usually with seasons, and some people may not know this, but usually your premiere is your highest rated because it has all the media, everyone's talking about it. And then, the second episode goes down a little bit, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And usually by now you're kind of at your low to when you go to the season finale and it comes back up. But with us, it just keeps steadily climbing and climbing and climbing. And by the way, we started off pretty hot, so our ratings are pretty incredible. We've been really excited about it. And we've been having a lot of fun with Ms. and Mrs. Our entire family loves the show, enjoys doing the show. And we do everything we possibly can to make sure that families are getting the entertainment that they deserve, but also making sure that it feels real. And it's our lives and it's relatable and funny and fun. And that's what we've drawn to. We've literally said we want to give people a real life story of what it's like to be a WWE superstar, but also be a dad, be a mom, be parents, and have these wacky, crazy grandparents. And we've been having a blast with it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the positive reaction because specifically, the next thing I was going to talk about is your dad in terms of on that show. And I was going to say that I've never, ever seen one bad thing said about him on Twitter from wrestling fans, which is a very hard feat to accomplish. I really enjoy your dad on that show. I enjoyed him in the WrestleMania storyline with Shane McMahon, but we haven't seen him since then. So now that you and John Morrison seem to maybe kind of be on the outs a little bit, maybe have some communication issues, if that is to ever disband, would you consider having your dad come in and manage you and have a character on television with Mr. Miz?
Stop. I think the reason that my dad is so well liked is because he makes fun of me more than the WWE universe. So it's like two peas in a pod, But my dad is a lot to handle, and he's a lot of fun. And it's funny with Ms. and Mrs. The only time he ever wants to come to my house is if we're shooting Ms. and Mrs. And I'm like, don't you want to see your granddaughters or your grandbabies, And he's like, I'll see them, but are you filming? I want to be on that. So my dad would sign up right away. I don't see myself and John Morrison splitting up for a very long time, if ever. I don't see that happening. It's just, we're too connected. We have too much chemistry, and we still have so much more to go.
Yeah. And, with you and Morrison, I mean, I know you won the WWE title this year and whatnot, but have you ever considered, with a tag team run either on Raw and SmackDown, is that something with Morrison that you would like to explore moving forward?
If the opportunity presents itself, we will be ready and well prepared. That's just the type of team that John Morrison and myself are. We motivate each other. John pushes me more than anybody else in WWE. Right now, he is just absolutely incredible. He is on a tear. And I think that John Morrison, if he's not in the main event scene going for the WWE or Universal Championship in the next year, I think this is something that we're missing in WWE.
And speaking of that WWE title, we did mention that you won it this year. I love that you have the two titles that you won kind of 10 years apart in that background. That's really cool. I listened to an interview you did right after you won that title, and you called out a headline that said, "The Miz is really WWE champion." And you've always been really good at taking things like that in stride, and that's very admirable. But doesn't that kind of piss you off a little bit that, like, after a decade of you paying your dues and everybody knows that you're legit in terms of a WWE superstar, as hard as you worked, there's still that sentiment out there of, oh, really, The Miz?
I'm used to it. I'm used to the, there's always like, God, I remember when I won the WWE Championship and there was the Angry Miz girl, and literally it erupted the internet. Like, I felt like I broke the internet for the first time when I won the title. Basically people saying like, oh my God, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be there. Main eventing WrestleMania. Really? He's doing that. I'll never forget. I remember I was doing an interview for like Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, and they do this like top 500 wrestlers every year, right? And that year I got number one. Like, I was ranked number one. Like, I won the WWE Championship, the United States Championship, the Tag Team Championship, main evented WrestleMania, successfully defended it. Like, there was no doubt that I was number one, right? So when I did the interview, we were all talking. It's like amazing. It's incredible. When I see the cover and I'm on it and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And it says, yeah, he's really number one. And it's like, come on, I just did this amazing interview. I feel like I've had this, and it's like, and there's no doubt, but it's still, that's the mentality that everyone has when I win something. But the thing is, all I care about is if people are talking. That's it. And when I won the WWE Championship for the second time, nobody believed that was going to happen. And if you looked at the ratings, and I know you probably did, they went up, and then they went up the next week. And so there's just something to a WWE champion not always being the strongest or toughest, and basically running away from a fight. And I always prided myself on being a champion that you never know. Anyone could beat him at any given time. I remember my first WWE Championship. My first match, I think, was against Jerry Lawler on his 60th birthday. Yes. And we had everyone in Philadelphia, which Philadelphia is our Uber fans, like the people that are just very intrigued and always know everything about WWE. And we had them literally thinking Jerry the King Lawler was going to go to WrestleMania as WWE champion. That's how much they wanted it. So I always feel like being a WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, I'm the superstar that you never know when he's going to lose. So you always want to tune in to see if today's the day.
Absolutely. And final question. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I've actually really kind of felt especially connected to your rise because I watched you from real world when you were saying that you were going to be the Miz to now where you are actually the Miz and this kind of a Hall of Fame type talent in WWE. And I just have a question. Do you still keep up with Coral Smith, and how is she doing? What's she up to? One of my favorite real world characters ever.
I haven't talked to Coral in probably like 10 years. You just kind of fall out, sometimes with the real world. It's very tough to, stay in contact because you lead different lives. Like you share a similar experience and you had an amazing time, but people just grow in different ways. Now, if I ever saw Coral, big hug. I would probably talk to her for 4 or 5 hours about what she's been up to, what I've been up to, and just reminisce. But we haven't had that opportunity yet.
Sure. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the interview. Good luck in all of your endeavors, because I know that you have all these irons in the fires. And thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much. Always appreciate it.